of the new year.
And we are back. Welcome to another edition of the Sports One. And we are back. We got the full crew in the house. That is what it's all about. The Yankees, out of any team in the league, are the best equipped to handle a blow like this.
I think there is a higher power at play here. He's due law of averages. That dude is the ultimate scrub. It's trash. Yeah. Every person you have in there is fucking trash.
Next game, you're going to see a big performance. You can see it in the end of the game, and I'm just totally stoked and excited for this.
And we are back. Welcome to another edition of the Sports Port. Michael almost getting hit in the head on the first throw of 2024. How you gentlemen doing today?
I'm doing phenomenal today, dude. Happy New Year, Brian.
Happy New Year, Tony. It's unbelievable that it's 2024.
I cannot believe that it is 2024, dude, but I'm super stoked to be here with the boys, here with the chat, here with Mike, and here with the sports, buddy. Let's go.
And how about
first show of the New Year?
We always talk about you, the work ethic, triple header today, not even thinking twice about it.
No. Stop. It's the New Year. Easy money, dude. Sports Port, Binge Buddies, Gaming Corner, and you're a part of two of those.
Yeah, I'll take that.
Double
and
dip.
also, I mean, we've been talking about it, but are we thinking it's been 6 months since the Sports Gaming Corner or no?
Dude, it has to be.
Michael?
Has to be.
Yes.
Michael?
I mean, that's a long time.
I want to say it was NHL, the last one we did.
Yeah, and I was
Possibly
very downtrot.
Yes.
I did bring NHL back. Not the council, though, which I'm going to have to go all the way home to get. But hey, I mean, you kind of made me feel better before. You said similar scenario. You bought the game, but I don't think I'm going to buy the council.
Council.
Craig Council.
Craig Council.
Wait, but honestly, it's
Console.
All right. I'll give you guys that.
It's okay, dude.
No, because Pooch is very big on how you say things, and I kind of get tight. But that's one of those where, listen, I said it wrong. What do you want me to say? You know,
sorry, dude. Craig Council.
But that being said, I know you were saying great weekend. Any type of synopsis you could give me from Jay's?
Oh yeah, definitely, dude. So Jay, lovely home his mother has in Asbury Park. I guess you could say it's like a townhouse, condo. I wouldn't say it's a condo.
Is it on the beach?
Yeah, it's like literally a stone's throw, like an actual.
Did you throw the ball?
Stone's throw. No balls were thrown. But stone's throw from the boardwalk, Brian. All right, we were able to walk around. We got some coffee there when we first got there. Whatever, hang out. We did dinner. We made steaks, mashed potatoes.
The spread looked amazing.
A great spread. Jay and company also did a great job in making the food. Then obviously the drinking, the New Year's Eve, Dick Clark's New Year's Eve show, Ryan Seacrest. Then you go out to the bars. The lines are too long. Find a good bar. Get in there. Live band. The ball drops. You're having a good time. Michael's making fun of people. And then we got back, played some Nintendo, went to bed. All in all, just French toast in the morning.
And what time did you touch down last night?
We got back at 10:30?
Oh, okay. So full day with Jay yesterday.
So we actually spent the morning and a little bit of the afternoon, I guess, maybe with Jay. Went to Staten Island.
Oh, went to Staten Island. Okay. The Chinese
food.
That looked like it really, that's like some of the best Chinese food you've ever had.
It is.
What was your favorite thing from yesterday from there?
From yesterday specifically? Honestly, probably the soup. I had a bowl of egg drop wonton soup, which I haven't had wonton soup.
Egg drop is my new thing.
And egg drop, oh my God,
the egg drop wonton's the best. I've always been traditional wonton, but I've learned the ways, Tony.
Likewise, dude. Yeah. In the same boat. And now it's just like, it's so good, dude. Oh.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, yeah, dude. What about you, dude? Let's go. AC,
come crazy. On. No, honestly, great time. Oceans is unbelievable. So it was great to be able to stay there. And they completely, you guys saw it probably on my Instagram story, but they completely redid the sports book. So it's like insane how there's just this bar in the center, huge bar, and then all the TVs surrounding it. They even put tables in the sports book as well. And then Carmine's, as always, Michael, unbelievable. The wings, the Scarpiello wings were ridiculous. And it was so busy at Carmine's that the downstairs usually not even open. We sat downstairs. Downstairs was completely full.
Wow.
So, we just went with the wings, Carmine salad, which is like a cold antipasto salad. and then the chicken parm and the penny vodka. And, you know, those are always your staples. You can't go wrong.
Yeah,
but I have to say, it's been a while. Probably, I only got it one time. And it was like 6 years ago. Next time I was saying, definitely want to get the porterhouse. It's like I think, did we talk about it on Friday?
Yes, we did. Dude.
Okay, yeah. Gotta get the porterhouse.
Dude, I don't know what it is for me, but I've been like so into steak recently.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Like, so we had obviously, like I said, you know, steaks for New Year's Eve. I believe one was a porterhouse, and there's like 2 strips, I think, that we made, the 3 of us. It was, oh my God, dude. Jay did this like reverse, not a reverse, but he seared it first and then put it in the oven.
He didn't flambe it?
No flambe, dude. I would be a little hesitant to flambe in that house, dude.
That was honestly one of the more funnier moments of last year, I think.
Yeah, I think
you
so
talking
too.
flambe. Right, Michael, or no? But Michael, look. Oh man. And then Gareth Emery at the Borgata was nice as well. They have a really good sports book there.
Premier.
Premier was good. So all in all, just a great weekend. So can't complain. And now it's just here we are, 2024. Still can't believe it.
I know, dude. A whole nother year.
Yeah. A whole nother year. And a whole nother year of comments. Let's just say the boys are back. What do we got for comments here?
Oh, yes. Speaking of the boys,
coming in
hot are the comments right now. Of course, early and often, we have Kevdu Taylor, and he says,
Kevdu,
Happy New Year. Another perfect week for us. He says 3-0. Yes, we know. And bad for you guys. 0-3. Rep the company. Rep DTV. Rep the sports board. Rep. New look Knicks. Start this year with a win. Interesting, dude. The Knicks.
Yeah, and I have to say, I had kind of like that one kind of went by the wayside for me, just because, you know, we haven't been like honed in on the NBA. I couldn't believe they traded RJ Barrett. That kind of surprised me.
Yeah, dude. And that guy, they got 2 guys from Toronto, right?
Yeah, OG Anunoby.
Yeah,
and then Malachi Flynn, who
and
I think is a marginal. Like,
Malachi's marginal. OJ.
His big things are like thought of him, but the numbers don't pop off the page.
And he's been in the league for like 5 years, right?
Right. So I'm pretty surprised, but I guess they just have a vision with Anunoby.
Yeah.
But you know, like I said, we haven't been on top of the situation. So if Josh B, Kev, they have anything to offer there, we'd love to hear it.
Oh yeah, dude. And speaking of Josh B, says, "What up, family? We put the dagger in this week on them picks, as if you got, you know, like, come on. I hate losing IQ in that Knicks trade. Hashtag TC has a rep the sports board at DTV." And then he also says, "Happy New Year, dude."
Happy New Year.
B. Stoked to hear from Josh B. And then, of course, the usual suspects here. Matthew Ebert says, "Yeah, let's go, dude. Happy New Year."
Matthew.
He says, "Kev doing Josh boy, what's good, fellas?" And they have a nice little interaction in the comments. Kev do saying we went 3-0 and I only picked 1 game. Is this weird? I don't know, dude. Matthew gave you pumped for the gaming corner. Josh B will be in the gaming corner. Ah, shit, dude.
And I will be on the gaming corner. Maybe I could score a goal in NHL. We'll have to see about that. Obviously, Madden. The new Madden is the main play, but we always do a nice variety, honestly.
We always mix it.
And Tony doesn't like it. Maybe Madden will be different for you actually this time. But I'm saying if it like starts out like where you're tight, then you're gonna be like, oh yeah, let's just play chill.
Yeah, probably. But dude, I don't know. I mean,
you're kind of thinking you're gonna be back regarding like Madden.
Yeah, definitely.
Like a lot better performance.
I do
than
think
last
so.
time.
Yes, a lot better.
What about NBA?
NBA, I can try.
Yeah, I mean, last time was like, wow, that was me in NHL.
Yeah. Well, no one told me how to even play.
Wait, Michael, what do you think of the excuses about NBA for Tony last time?
Yes.
I literally asked him, like, "Yo, how do you set a pick? Yo, hit that button."
Come on.
My mother says, "Hi, fellas, dude."
Kev with the gamer tag. Honestly, I mentioned that to Kev like months ago, and he's saying, "Come see me in Madden."
Kev, dude,
and I do have PS4, but I believe he said that we can cross-platform. So
yes, I remember it.
Wow, yeah, maybe we could even get a game with Kev.
Yeah,
Time allows. That would be pretty crazy.
The internet, dude, the interwebs.
We'll have to try to set that up later. But looking forward to Gaming Corner for sure. And looking forward to this episode. I mean, there's so much when you're coming off a long weekend to recap everything.
Long weekend.
But we know where we have to start, Tony. If we could go to the world of the National Football League.
He wants Jefferson, climbs the ladder. Oh my goodness! Justin Jefferson, the catch of his life.
Burrow fires, intercepted.
picked off and a pick six. Mika Fitzpatrick, an absolute ball hawk. Niners twist up front and get to Tagovailoa. Bosa again. Mahomes escaping on the move, stops, spins, flips it forward for the touchdown.
Stop it.
Aaron Jones. Oh, what a tackle. Quincy Williams with a pile driver.
That might be the first catch we've missed
Honestly,
on camera.
in a really long
was
time.
Getting cocky, going to one-handed, like I was Odell on the sideline.
One hand on the shoulder.
Over the weekend.
Yeah.
But yeah, so going back a ways,
I know,
it
it
seems
feels
like this
so
was
long ago.
a week ago. Did have the one Saturday game. Of course, they moved Monday Night Football to Saturday because of the college football playoff yesterday, which we'll touch on. But we had the game between the Detroit Lions and the Dallas Cowboys. Controversial ending, but at the end of the day, Cowboys get the W here to get in the driver's seat for the NFC East. If they beat Washington this week, they will win the NFC East and be the second seed in the NFC. So quite the comeback for them after how far back they were with Philadelphia all year. But basically, to give you the synopsis here. First quarter, Lions got on the board first. Bagley from 41 made it 3-0. But CeeDee Lamb with an electric 92-yard touchdown pass from Dak made it 7-3. Lions answer back in the third quarter. So a scoreless second quarter. Third quarter, David Montgomery with a 3-yard touchdown run made it 10-7. Aubrey made a 51-yarder near the end of the third to make it 10-10. Another field goal from Bagley made it 13-10. But then Brandon Cooks, 8-yard pass from Prescott, made it 17-13. They extended to 20-13 with an Aubrey 43-yard field goal. But the Lions score a touchdown to make it 20-19, go for 2 in the win with 23 seconds left, get it once. Then they make the ineligible, lineman downfield call. They do it again. There's another penalty, and then they try it one more time and don't get it. What did you make of all that? I mean, did the Lions get hosed, Tony? There was a lot of discussion about that.
Yeah, I think so, dude. The whole I don't know those calls. I don't know. I mean, clearly there's some type of breakdown between them and the refs. No, because they were talking about the whole trick play thing, right?
Yeah.
With how they disclose what they're going to do.
Right. They said this is
what's going to be happening.
The ref basically wasn't paying attention. That's what people were alluding to.
How do you, that's just that's bad, dude.
Yeah.
You got robbed.
Yeah.
That is the definition, honestly, of getting robbed.
Right.
Because that guy didn't do his job, that ref. So, I mean, that is absolutely gut wrenching. But obviously now at this point, I mean, what are you going to do? You're going to fire him?
Well, the whole thing is, I mean, that completely changes the whole rest of the season for the Detroit Lions, because winning that game, you're pretty much in the driver's seat for that number 2 spot that Dallas currently possesses. And then you have most likely, barring that they win this week against the Bears, it's Packers. So it's Lions, Packers. Right. And then since they lost that game, they're most likely lined up with the Rams. And I know we were talking about pre-show how the Rams almost blew that game to the Giants, but I think in their eyes, I'm sure they would rather play the Packers than the Rams.
Oh yeah.
And just all the emotions that's going to bring, Stafford coming back to Detroit and stuff. But also, you'd be lined up with San Francisco if you beat, if you beat the Rams in the first round, most likely as well. So it's just completely changes everything. And Dallas, a big win for them. It's just amazing. It seemed like the Eagles were going to finish so far ahead of them, and how they ended up losing, and we'll talk about them. But it just unbelievable how that changed everything.
Yeah, it really is. And we talked about it too, leading up to this I guess couple of weeks, honestly, that how tightly knit certain parts, I guess, of the NFC and the AFC are. And obviously, I mean, that was obviously evident in the NFC right there with the Eagles losing one game, dropping to the 5th seed. I mean, it's pretty crazy, dude. It really is. How
and they will maybe play Baker in the Bucs, but who knows, because they lost to the Saints. So either the Saints or the Bucs will win the NFC South and host the Eagles, most likely. But speaking of the Eagles, they lose 35-31. And I actually have to go quick time out here because I just have a good story that you would appreciate.
Oh yeah.
But go to talking sports.
Yeah, talking sports with Jake because this is interesting. Refs made a mistake, but Decker wasn't clear. Decker wasn't clear enough when he reported, and Campbell should have gone for it once the team.
Because it was, I think, from the 7-yard line.
Dude.
I mean, that's a
7-yard
2-point conversion. I mean, that's a little dicey.
It is,
to say the least. But yeah, I just thought about this because I was watching the Eagles game in the sports book at Resorts actually on Sunday for like just the first half of the games. And then we went back to Oceans. But there was like this whole controversy. Philadelphia Eagles fans sitting in the corner, got there early and like reserved like a row of seats.
Yeah.
But this guy, I guess, who's there every week, wanted to sit there, and they're like being very like aggressive with him, saying that he can't sit there. Security has to come over. I thought he was literally going to get like arrested or something because he's just refusing to leave. And then like the guy that works at the sports book comes over and he's like, listen, I don't mind moving, but they're talking to me like I'm some type of animal.
Oh, really?
And it was like this whole thing, so back and forth. So then he's rooting against the Eagles the whole time. I didn't see the end of the game. That must have been great. But then on top of it, this guy is just like so out of his rocker. And he kept saying, because the Bucs were playing the Saints, and he kept yelling in front of the whole sports book, Faker Mayfield, Faker Mayfield. You give him enough time, he'll show his true colors. Faker Mayfield. And like said it 30 times, honestly. And then he's like rooting against the Eagles. Like stuff was getting crazy.
So he was kind of crazy.
Yeah, basically. But they were a little like ridiculous. Like they're like looking back, like staring. And I tried to sit over there for a second and they like said it reserved. But obviously I'm just like, oh, okay. Like, whatever.
Like, okay. Like it's reserved. That's how like the world works sometimes.
Yeah. Like. So I just had to mention that. But this game was literally crazy. And I think going into it, we didn't expect it. Maybe we said, oh, the Eagles have been a little inconsistent. They'll struggle a bit. But the Cardinals, get on the board first with a 28-yard field goal. Long drive though, 14 plays, 64 yards. James Conner, Tony, really the star of this game, 128 yards rushing, had the rushing touchdown, and just got anything that he wanted on the ground. He was a big part of that first drive. Mm-hmm. How about Julio Jones though? We haven't heard from him all year. Two touchdowns in this one. One in the first quarter, 12-yard pass from Hurts made it 7-3. Sidney Brown, a guy that you don't really hear much from, 99-yard pick six, which gave the Eagles a 14-3 lead. So you're thinking, okay, yeah, they're going to run away with this one. The Cardinals, again, running the ball, Tony, with Connor, 16 plays, 59 yards, 34-yard field goal, 14-6. Julio Jones, 22-yard pass from Jalen Hurts, made it 21-6. And then former Jet Michael Carter starting the scoring off in the second half.
Looking so good.
6-yard pass from Murray made it 21-13. Was Jay excited for the Carter touchdown?
Oh my God. Yeah. He freaking, we were sitting there watching it, obviously, and Carter, like, just juked someone out of his cleats, dude.
Was he saying that they never should have got rid of him?
Yeah. Dude, you just kept him. Like, understanding is why maybe you have Dalvin Cook, but it's like,
oh man. So that was funny. And then Eagles again can't get anything going on offense. Cardinals get the ball back. James Conner, 5-yard pass from Murray. So a rushing and receiving touchdown for James Conner. And this game was tied at 21 because Kyler Murray, corner end zone, threw it on a dime to Michael Wilson, tying the game at 21. Eagles, 13 plays, 75 yards, 9-yard pass from Goddard made it 28-21. Michael Wilson, though, this time he catches a touchdown pass over 8 plays, 77-yard drive, made it 28-28. Elliott from 43 made it 31-28. But with 32 seconds left, James Conner punches it in 35-31, and the Arizona Cardinals pick up their 4th win of the year, defeating the Eagles 35-31. Eagles all year being in charge there in the NFC East. Fall to the 5th seed and will most likely play on the road unless Washington can beat Dallas next week. What a shocking turn of events for Philadelphia. I knew they were struggling, but I did not think they would lose at home to Arizona.
Yeah, dude, me neither. I mean, they kind of blew it.
Especially
at the end there. I mean, I feel like they could have had it, but I don't know, dude. I mean, do you think though that this is like a larger indictment on them as an organization? Or do you think this is going to be like a one-off, unfortunate loss and unfortunate time?
I don't think anything good is happening this year, and maybe they'll get lucky in the first round just because. Bucks. I mean, I know I've been hot on them, but that was a brutal game against the Saints.
It was.
And then if the Saints end up winning the division, I don't know. That's it. I don't really believe in them either. So it's just I don't think they're beating any top teams. We saw them get blown out by San Francisco and Dallas in consecutive weeks, and it's just like beginning of the year, you kind of thought, wow, this team looks like they're going to go back to the Super Bowl and finish the deal finally.
Yeah.
But now I
Maybe
mean,
not.
It's hard to say that. And speaking of Faker Mayfield, Tony, and the Saints here, 23-13, the Saints with the win, and really shut out Baker for the first 3 quarters. He throws a couple picks, a couple touchdown passes late to make it, somewhat of a game here, but really a dud at home for Tampa. Derek Carr actually had the better game at quarterback. And, in terms of Tampa, I mean, Baker threw for over 300, but the 2 picks were tough. His QBR was only 19, so it shows you he wasn't making the right decisions. Mike Evans only 3 catches and running the ball, only 57 yards on the ground. So I think, they leaned too much on the passing game, and the Saints defense, stood back in coverage and played it the right way, and they were a victim of a Taysom Hill touchdown catch as well. And now, they're forced to win a week 18 game to get in. So, that could go anyway. They are playing Carolina, so you feel like they should be good there, but they really didn't look great, of course, in this one. And then for New Orleans, they're going to play this week, the Falcons, who have been eliminated from the playoffs. So you would think that the Bucs would take care of business. I mean, any hesitation after this loss?
Honestly, no, not much hesitation after this loss. I think we've seen, Baker Mayfield look a little different, in games this season, but I do think that, the past 3 or 4 weeks, where he's put together some great games, dude, like literally since, I don't know, week 13, maybe week 14, he's been playing really well. And obviously, against the Saints here, you hate to hear Derek Carr, outplayed you at the quarterback position. But I do think it's going to be like, it's one of those weeks where, Baker had a kind of a clunker, only threw for those 2 touchdowns, had 2 interceptions. The Bucs didn't score at all until the 4th quarter. I think that's going to be his reset next week at the win. Feel good about himself going to the playoffs. So there we go.
And the whole thing is, they do have the tiebreaker, so when they are in, and New Orleans could still be a wild card as well here. But they would need, Green Bay and Seattle to lose. And Green Bay is going to have that game against the Bears, so going to be interesting. But you just hope from a watchability standpoint that the Bucs get the job done, because I really don't want to see Carr and the Saints in the playoffs.
No one does.
So moving on here. How about the Bears all over the Falcons here, 37-17. So the Bears, after a putrid start to this year, have really turned it around. All of a sudden,
Justin Fields,
7-9, 5-3 home record, which is pretty good for a team, going into the year you thought was one of the worst in the league. You speak of Fields, no turnovers, 268 yards passing and a score. Also ran for 45 yards and a rushing touchdown. As a team, Chicago guts this Falcons defense here, running for 192 yards. DJ Moore, what a season he's had. I believe over 1,300 yards now, 9 receptions, 159 yards and a score. So I think, you have to feel pretty good if you're a Chicago Bears fan. All those draft picks to look forward to. I think, like we've been talking about the last couple of weeks, what do you do with head coach? What do you do with quarterback? It seems like people are resigned to the fact that they're going to trade Fields. And then you would think, even though they've rallied, that they would still make the change at head coach. I mean, I know it's a week-to-week league here, but I mean, what do you think? I mean, what do you think the Bears are going to do with coach and quarterback?
I don't know, man. I mean, I think personally that they would be kind of stupid to get rid of Fields. I wish, though, if they do get rid of Fields, I mean, you might as well get rid of your head coach too, right?
Exactly.
You might as well just start over at that point. But I don't know. I would like to think that they don't get rid of Fields. I understand, they had a tough start. We mentioned that, but 7-9 right now. You said how good they are at home. And Fields looked really good. I understand only 1 throwing touchdown, but he was running a lot. 45 yards on the ground there, over 11 carries. He rushed for a touchdown. And you mentioned, kind of like, I don't know, their offense. I understand it's the Falcons here, But they looked like a pretty solid triple threat offense. You mentioned more through the air, over 150 yards. They had a great rushing game, and then that opened up Fields to have those opportunities to run himself, to have men open downfield. It looked like their offense was really clicking very well. So I don't know. I think it'd be stupid if they do get rid of Fields.
Yeah. I mean, I would like to see them get 2 impact players, maybe keep Fields, but still get rid of the coach. I don't know. I think that
who's their coach?
Matt Eberflus.
Oh, okay.
I guess their defense has been playing better, but I don't know if he's going to take you to the next level. So it's just a very interesting situation. And even if they do decide to move on, they're gonna get, everything short of probably a first rounder for Fields, and then all the additional picks that they have to begin with, the 2 firsts this year, and I believe a second round pick next year. So it's there's a lot to work with. Also, I forgot to mention Khalil Herbert had 124 yards on the ground. I like what Rashawn Johnson, the rookie running back, has done. He had a touchdown on this one as well. So between DJ Moore, also Cole Kmet, I think he's going to be a really good tight end in this league. And then you think about the skill positions, the defense definitely has played better of recent. So I just think that there is a lot to work with, and I'm excited to see what the Bears do. And we talk about coaching quarterback. I mean, I would think Arthur Smith, Taylor Heineke, Desmond Ridder, probably all good as gone. I think Arthur Blank has had enough. He's tired of losing. And the tandem of Bijan Robinson, Drake London, and Kyle Pitts, they should be able to be your franchise cornerstones. And let's say Tyler Algier also is a great running back. So I think there's stuff to work with. You got to get the right coach and quarterback in there. And I think we'll see Atlanta do that. And Tony, could even be a candidate for Justin Fields if the Bears decide to move on.
That would be interesting. So Eberflus, dude, second year head coach here.
Yeah, terrible last year, 3-14. Hadn't won a division game till earlier this year. But then if you look at the stretch for the Chicago here,
it's great.
Yeah, I mean, they've done a really good job in the second half. I just want to see exactly what the scenario is here. So they have won, 5 of their last 7. So I mean that's
actually
a pretty good.
They're 7-9 now, right?
Yeah, pretty good way to close the year after losing their first 4.
You think our boy Matt here? I mean, you'll get his career as a coach. I mean, he took I guess your typical put the work in and then eventually get the head coach position. Defense coordinator with the Colts, then obviously now head coach with the Bears. I don't know, but you think if he gets moved? I mean, I would still imagine a lot of teams would be interested in him
as a coordinator.
You think as a head coach?
Think I don't know. I think especially he's at a weird spot, middle-aged and a defensive coach. This league is so offensively oriented,
right?
So maybe they want to keep him because of the stretch. Recently, I don't know. So it'll be interesting to see, what they do there.
Yeah.
I know we got some comments to catch up on. What do we got here?
Yes, of course, dude. Oh, let's go, dude. We got mad comments. Let me go back a little bit. Talk about. Here we go. Chairman, let's go. Yanni says good morning and happy New Year, everyone. What a weekend of games. The games last night were good too. Knicks with the trade. OG looked solid in his first game at the Garden as well. Hashtag Rep the company, hashtag Rep DTV. And then Grimes Fine says, what's up, guys and gals? This guy's over from the TikTok Live, actually.
What's up?
Because he can't wait for his 2024 Cowboys Super Bowl hoodie, Brian. I got it. Josh B says, here we go. Typical Cowboys statement. Grimes says, every year, baby, 13-3 and Super Bowl bound. Oh, I was 16 the last Super Bowl. When I can't fit my pinky in my ear hole, I know I had too much salt. Need water, be back. That's so funny. And then Danny V in the house says, happy New Year's, fellas. Let's go. I just hope 24 is a great year for everyone. We'll check back in about 12 months. I'll let you know. He says, Kev kick rocks. Raiders still suck. Josh B laughing his ass off, dude.
Yeah.
Let's go. We're back.
So good to hear from the fellas. I know everybody's jacked up. So moving along here, how about the Rams holding on for dear life against the Giants here, 26 to 25. And as I mentioned in the intro here, Giants had a chance late to win this one, but Mason Crosby, I don't know why he didn't just hang him up. He just has not, looked great, Tony, as you would say, but he misses a 54-yarder at the end. So the Rams, get the job done. And, this was after the Giants, had missed a 2-point conversion after getting a 94-yard punt return from Gunnar Olszewski. That was a pretty crazy play, but then the decision to go for 2 comes back to bite. And I just thought at the time it didn't make any sense. I don't know what you thought, but there's 3.5 minutes left. Even if you go for 2 and get it, the Rams, all they would have to do was kick a field goal to win the game. Did you think that was a questionable call just based on the fact that there was a lot of time left on the clock?
Yeah, that's literally Mike, Jay, and I were watching it, and we all thought that was so stupid.
Yeah.
That's not good. That's a bad call.
Yeah. I mean, I know Dable likes to get aggressive. The first game, I think, as the Giants coach last season, they go for 2 in Tennessee and win. But I don't think it made sense. I mean, you want to take positive out of the negative for the Giants. They hung in there all game, but at the end of the day,
wasn't there like a penalty too on the extra point or something? I think there was a penalty first, and then they went out to go for 2, right?
That to me, yes. The extra point was good.
Yeah,
they took the point off the board because they get the ball at the 1-yard line, but the play call didn't make any sense.
No.
That was a tough one, and really, I think they got the Rams when not on their best day. Stafford had the 2 picks, sacked 4 times. But did get the ball, in the air for 317 yards. And Nakua, another big one, 118 yards. And Kyron Williams had 3 rushing touchdowns.
Yeah,
so
20 carries.
While it was a sloppy win, almost a lucky win, the Rams clinch a playoff spot here. We talked about how they're most likely going to be matched up with the Lions. Kyron Williams, all of a sudden, second half of this year, looks like an absolute stud, Tony. And then you think about what they can do in the passing game. Do you still think they're, we've been talking about them for a few weeks now. Are they still, dangerous in your eyes for, an upset or 2 in the playoffs?
The Rams. Yeah, I guess I could see an upset. Yeah, I think so.
I mean, Kyron Williams, 1144, 12 touchdowns, 5 yards a carry. Never even heard of him beginning of the year.
Crazy.
And then you think about what they do passing the ball. So
yeah,
I thought that was interesting. The Ravens are the number 1 seed in the AFC, 56-19 over the Dolphins. So the Dolphins getting completely waxed. And then also they lose Bradley Chubb to an ACL. They already lost Jalen Phillips. Xavier Howard had to leave this game as well. So that defense that had been playing so well really is a shell of itself now, and that has to be concerning for Miami. They're already in the playoffs, but they will play Sunday Night Football against the Bills to win the division. Bills need that game to get into the playoffs or need help. But I would think, and I know I'm the one saying I didn't think Lamar deserved the MVP, but 5 touchdown passes, 300 yards in this one, finally doing, having one of those big games that I had been calling for. A lot of people think this game cemented it for him. Boy, Zay Flowers, too. How impressive is he? 75-yard touchdown, 3 catches, 106. The speed that he has is unbelievable. They ran for 160 on the ground, very balanced attack here. Melvin Gordon even getting a rushing touchdown. Kind of forgot about him. Odell had the crazy catch down the sideline as well. But it's really a tale of 2 teams here. If you're a Ravens fan, you feel outstanding. You feel confident. You feel like the AFC runs through Baltimore. But if you're Miami, you're worried about that defense, and you have to win a standalone primetime game to close this season out against a team that stuck it, to you earlier this year in the Bills. So you might have to go on the road with a defense that's missing a couple key cogs. And this has been such a great season for Miami, but has to be real cause for concern with these defensive losses, huh?
Yeah, no, I think so. Especially the time in which these losses are coming. And we talked about Miami, not beating a lot of great teams this season. I think the Ravens have certainly proved themselves to be, one of those great teams throughout the season. But beating the Dolphins just emphatically. They've are now looking like some type of powerhouse in the NFL.
Right.
And like you were saying, it's just a bad loss for the Dolphins. I mean, this could be like, that's it. Like they'll probably lose next week, lose the first round of the playoffs. And then like everyone's gonna be, oh, well, you know what? They didn't beat any great teams this entire season. So not much of a surprise.
Yeah. I mean, at just one point, we were asking the question, are they the best team in the whole league?
Yeah.
And it's weird too. I think the offense has been like, it's kind of flattened out a little bit too.
Mm-hmm.
Where they're dropping 70 on the Broncos earlier in the season.
Yeah.
Now it seems like there's more struggle, there's more turnovers, and it's not Tyreek Hill for 180 yards every game. So that's just kind of really changed everything. And with a lot, I guess it depends on what happens next week, but if they might fall to the 6th seed, so then they would have to play the Chiefs in the first round instead of the Bills. But I think it also depends on what the Browns do. They also have 11 wins. So a lot to be determined over this final week of the season. And speaking of the Bills, they hang on against the Pats 27-21. Didn't make it look too easy. But nevertheless, they get their 4th straight win after falling to 6-6 a month ago. And Josh Allen wasn't great. But he did have 2 rushing touchdowns, 15 incompletions, no passing touchdowns, only 169 yards in the air. But the defense stepped up and made plays when it needed to. 3 interceptions of Bailey Zappi. Just a grinded out win against a team that is one of the worst in the league, but also beat you earlier this year. So you can't really look too much into the numbers. The Bills, especially after being 6-6 at one point, are where they hope to be and have it all on the line Sunday night.
Yeah. I don't know though. I don't know, dude. The Bills are one of those teams this season for me. I mean, they've had some ugly losses. And I don't know, dude. I really just don't think they're gonna make a splash in the playoffs this season.
Yeah, I mean, Allen with the turnovers, the inconsistencies, I get it. But it's just
their defense too gives up a lot of points.
Yeah, I mean, this game they played well. But yeah, it's just like what version of Allen are you going to get?
Right.
That's the toughest question to answer.
And I feel like that team, like every aspect of that team almost revolves around Josh Allen. Because when he is off, it's just like everything seems to be going wrong for the Bills. So
right.
It's tough, dude. I guess it does depend. Again, kind of crazy to think that how much is up in the air coming like for the first round of the playoffs, like how tight these teams are, especially, in the top of the conference. So, it's tough to kind of predict on, what's going to happen, but I don't see the Bills going that far.
Yeah.
I just can't.
Yeah. You could see the interceptions, the turnovers coming back to bite. The Colts hung on at home against the Raiders to pick up their 9th win of the year, 23-20. Jonathan Taylor, their leading rusher in this one, 96 yards and a touchdown. Gardner didn't turn it over, had a touchdown and 224 yards through the ground, including in the air, and then including a 58-yard touchdown to Alec Pierce. Michael Pittman came back from the concussion, 5 receptions, 46 yards. And they win this game despite, giving up 13 receptions, 126 yards, and 2 touchdowns to Devontae Adams. Aiden O'Connell had one of the best games of his career, just under 300 yards, 2 touchdowns, and they ran the ball for 84 yards. So a valiant effort for the Raiders, but they go to 7-9. The Colts at 9-7. In a pretty good spot. And with a win and the Jacksonville loss, they'll be champions in the AFC South, but also can get in via wild card. So again, we'll have to see what happens down the stretch. But I think without even asking you, Tony, because I know you've been one of the biggest critics, even if they do get in again, I don't think you're anticipating too much. Right now they are the 7th seed. So they would play Miami, or if Buffalo wins that division.
Yeah, the Colts you're talking about right now
on the road, first round could get ugly quick.
Right now they would play. You said
Miami.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know that I could see being a Miami bounce back game. But let's say, again, yeah, hard to tell.
Chiefs, could they beat the Chiefs?
I could see them potentially sneaking one past the Chiefs.
Yeah.
You would imagine that they would lose next week, right, against the Texans?
Geez, I mean the Texans,
right.
Yeah. I guess, but it's one of those games. I think it's going to be just like this game, right down to the wire.
I mean, you would imagine too that like CJ Stroud would have a similar line Aiden over there, right? I mean,
Mhm.
Aiden did a really good game. Yeah, I guess you got to give it to Gardner. I mean, didn't have a ton of great production, but he did not turn the ball over at all. So,
Yeah.
I mean, again, if he had one turnover, that probably would have been the game for the Colts.
Right.
So I don't know. I mean, it's tight, but I could see them upsetting the Chiefs. Yeah.
Yeah. So that'll be interesting. We saw Jacksonville, we're talking about that AFC South 26-0 over the Panthers with CJ Beathard. So, that was kind of a surprise for me. And I thought they would win, but I just didn't know where you're going to get out of Beathard. But he actually, did his job, 17 of 24, 178, no turnovers, and sacked 3 times. QBR 79. They ran the ball very effectively. ETN, 102 yards on the ground, 2 scores, 6.4 yards per carry. Also had 2 receptions out of the backfield. And their leading receiver, Evan Ingram, 6 receptions, 60 yards. So obviously it had been a free fall, 4 straight losses for Jacksonville. They were playing an inferior opponent here. So you get that. But at the end of the day, they take care of business and have a chance to win a division title. We'll see if Trevor Lawrence comes back next week after missing the first start of his career.
You would imagine he does. There's no way he's not going to be, right?
You would think, but I mean, he's got to be healthy. Obviously, they don't want to mess around with their franchise quarterback. Moving along, though, here, we also, this was, I guess, now, or actually, one other 1:00 game here. The Texans 26-3 over the Titans. And, we kind of expected this one. CJ Stroud played very well. They didn't need to throw the ball as much in the second half because they had the big lead. But he had 213 yards, a touchdown, only sacked once. Devin Singletary, leading rusher, 80 yards on the ground. In that touchdown pass went to Brevin Jordan. So Texans still alive at 9-7, but going to need some help to get into the playoffs. But nevertheless, DeMeco Ryans, CJ Stroud, this franchise, which has been struggling for a few years now, really turned it around. And especially after everybody thought they got gypped out of the number 1 pick last year, seems like they have a bright future with that coach and quarterback combo.
Yeah, no, I totally agree here. I mean, they got really lucky with CJ Stroud. And also I feel like Devin Singletary, dude.
Former Bill.
Yeah, I know. I feel like with the Bills too, he wasn't like anything crazy.
But they didn't give him carries.
They just didn't give him carries.
You look at it, always around 5 yards of carry. It's just like, what are you doing?
Dude.
Because you have to run it, then Allen runs, and there's not many carries.
I feel like he's had some pretty big games this season too. So I mean, yeah, great for the Houston's organization to look like they could be competitive in the next few years. On the other side of the ball, I guess the Titans fucking suck. They got to get rid of their boy Mike Vrabel. Gone, dude. Get rid of everyone, dude.
You would think Henry gone.
Henry gone.
Well. Maybe Hopkins, even though he has another 1,000-yard year. But it just you want to get younger.
Yeah, dude.
And I know Levis, I think, what did he have to leave this game with an injury? He's played well enough where you want to consider it. But then also, I think where your draft pick is, if there's a veteran quarterback that's available, I think there's going to be a lot of roster turnover this offseason. Do you think Will Levis could be someone who's their starting quarterback? Yeah, I think in the right scenario, but give me the right offensive coordinator. That's a big thing. What's the deal with Levis? He wasn't drafted high at all. Second round pick. Oh, okay. So, it was a foot injury that he left the game with. So I think, like we said, a lot of change, maybe a new name change for the stadium because you can't take it anymore, Tony. I really can't, dude. It's unbelievable, dude. I was just saying, he's a Connecticut boy, right? He went to Xavier High School. Xavier, yeah. 5-11 so far for the Titans. Not what they were hoping for. Neither are the Commanders aren't where they were hoping for either. They fall to 4-12 after a 27-10 home loss to the Niners. Niners, clinch, of course, the NFC number 1 seed as well with their 12 wins. And they are sitting Christian McCaffrey, who left this game with a mild calf strain. So he's not going to play this week. They'll have a bye, and then he'll come back for the divisional round. But what a season he had, I believe, over 2,000 yards from scrimmage, 21 total touchdowns. So really a great year for Christian McCaffrey. And hopefully that calf injury doesn't limit him in the playoffs. Purdy bounced back in this one, only 6 incompletions, 2 touchdowns, no picks, 88.2 QBR, Tony. And then Brandon Ayuk has really taken over that number 1 wide receiver role, 114 in the score on 7 catches. He's up to 1,300 yards and 7 touchdowns this year. So a nice bounce back win for San Francisco after getting, embarrassed by Baltimore a week ago.
Yeah, they really needed that, dude. And I mean, if the Commanders ended up beating them, I mean, it would have been no good.
Yeah.
No good
Changes
at all.
everything.
Dude. Yeah, it really does.
You would imagine, Ron Rivera coming to his final days as head coach for Washington. I don't know if they're going to keep Howell or not. He's thrown for a lot of yards, but also a lot of interceptions.
Get rid of him.
And then, there's some talent with McLaurin, with Curtis Samuel, with Brian Robinson. So again, it'll be interesting to see what they do, with the collection of talent that they have, who stays, who goes. We'll of course have to keep an eye out for it. We saw Pittsburgh win big in Seattle. So Mike Tomlin getting yet another season where he is 500 or better. The Steelers' 9th victory of the year. Will need some help to get into the playoffs this week, 30-23, and really had control of this one late. Seattle with that late field goal, but then weren't able to put together that touchdown drive that they needed to tie this game. Mason Rudolph doesn't turn it over. He's played a lot better than expected. 6 incompletions. It's good for a 70 quarterback rating, and they ran the ball. When you think about vintage Pittsburgh Steelers, they were running the football, 46 carries, 202 yards, 3 touchdowns. Harris had 122 and 2. Warren, 75 yards and 1 touchdown. George Pickens has had an outstanding season at wide receiver, and given what he's had to work with at quarterback, pretty impressive. I know there's been some issues, though. Attitude, I think, getting tight just at the frustration. 1140, 5 touchdowns, 18 yards a catch. I mean, it just looks like a complete stud at 6'3", and he's only 22 years old. So maybe they can keep it together. I think it really depends, what they do at the quarterback position. But what's your thoughts though with Tomlin, Tony? Because I mean, he gets a lot of credit for the losing seasons, but then you think about it, and it's like the one Super Bowl. He's been there for 2007, so 16, 17 years. Not a lot of playoff wins, but they're always there. I mean, what do you think?
It's tough, dude. I mean, I would say that he's a good coach. I mean, you have to admit that he's a good coach. I mean, you don't get there and have, winning seasons, always winning seasons without being a good coach. But I mean, I think it's just one of those coaches that, seems like he's rarely, obviously because he has won a Super Bowl, rarely going to make it over that hump. I don't know, dude. I mean, it would be interesting to see. I think the jury's still out here because you have to see where the Steelers end up, like, once they find their quarterback. I mean, are we throwing Rudolph out there, you think? Like,
no.
I mean, yeah. Like
he's a backup. They
find their quarterback. You can see what he does with like some fresh young blood. Because, I mean, he had Big Ben for so long.
Right.
It's almost like the Belichick Brady debate, kind of who is the big reason why they were winning, or why they were there. And obviously, Belichick kind of fell apart a little bit here, and that certainly hurts his legacy. So I think for Tomlin, jury's still out, dude.
Yeah, it's crazy that the jury's still out like this far into his career.
I know it is.
Well, I think it's one of those things, honestly. I think we all know he is a good football coach, but I think because of this streak, he gets a little overrated just because how many actual big games has he won?
Right.
And the last time he was in a big spot, they lost to Aaron Rodgers and the Packers. And it's like, think about how long ago that was.
And I mean, maybe it's just me, but I feel like, I understand he does get credited for being a good coach, but I mean, I don't know. I don't feel talking about him. People talk about him like Shanahan, like an offensive genius, or Andy Reid,
Right. Because I think he's not so much X's and O's as he is a mindset and a culture type of thing.
Okay.
Right.
All right. Yeah. No, I would agree that.
And I guess defensively, he's been in charge of the reins there. So I mean, they're good there. It's just, who's the offensive coordinator? They had to fire theirs earlier this year.
Right.
So it'll be interesting to see what they do at quarterback. And Seattle with that loss falls to 8-8. So they will need the Packers to lose to the Bears next week, and then they will have to beat the Cardinals to get into the playoffs. So, I mean, the Bears could definitely beat the Packers, but I mean, obviously you had an opportunity here to solidify yourself. You didn't. So it's been kind of a disappointing season for Seattle.
Oh, yeah.
After a surprise, good season last year, this has been kind of mediocre.
Yeah, dude, for the Seahawks, that's tough. I mean, it is what it is, I guess.
You think they stick with Geno for one more?
I wouldn't.
Really?
Yeah.
You think that they could do better there?
Yeah, I think they're gonna have to.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I mean, it's tough.
I feel like his value is high, kind of high though. Like get rid of him, maybe.
But how much you really? I mean, I think I don't know. I can't see it being more than mid-round picks for him, though. You know, I guess it's just what your options are. They're not going to have a high draft pick, so it'd just be a matter of bringing someone in, or you stick with them and then you scout out who in the middle rounds you like because we forget. I mean, Russell Wilson was a third-round draft pick, and
dude.
Geno Smith was a second-round draft pick.
And speaking of that too, Jay Bird chimed in a little bit earlier, and he says crazy how Kyron and Puka both fifth-round draft picks.
The Rams, we go back to the ridiculous. Cooper Kupp middle rounds as well, Jay.
Crazy. So, he said someone tell the Jets GM to take notes.
Yeah, that would be nice. That would be nice. But we'll end up with the next Mekhi Becton. More than likely, Tony. We saw the Broncos 16-9, Tony, over the Chargers. So they go to 8-8. They've already been eliminated from playoff contention. But Jared Stidham played okay in this one, 224 yards and a score. I mean, it's good for the Broncos, I guess, to end the season on a win. But I think there's just a lot of questions moving forward. I mean, I don't know what they're going to do at quarterback. I think I saw something. If they trade or cut Wilson, I mean, it's going to be like $50 million in dead cap money. I don't know what the direction is there under Sean Payton.
Yeah, I don't know, dude. I think it's going to bring in some new guy.
Well, they have to bring in a new quarterback, but it's like, do they go the veteran route?
No, they have to go young. No.
Yeah, but then it's like again rebuild. I mean, I guess you just gotta hope you pick the right guy, but they're not drafting high. It's kind of, as you would say, a precarious situation.
Yeah. Do you know what their draft pick is?
I mean, you got to think 8-8. I mean, you're mids. You're 13, 14, 15, 16.
That's tough.
Yeah.
Trade up?
You could. Yeah. But, I mean, that's a big decision to make because, you think about veterans, too. I mean, I don't think there's going to be, a ton of quarterbacks available. One of them being available is the guy they're getting rid of in Wilson.
Yeah.
So I think that's a situation to monitor.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like you said, it's tough to kind of figure out what their direction is going to be.
Yeah.
Like you said.
And where do the Chargers go? I mean, obviously they have Herbert. Eckler will be a free agent. I don't know if they bring him back. Keenan Allen getting older. Mike Williams coming off the ACL. A lot of decisions to be made of that team as well.
And I don't know. I mean, would it be crazy too? In terms of the Broncos, I mean, do you think it's crazy to say that maybe Peyton is kind of sour?
No, they're not going to get rid of him. They gave him a lot of money. They traded draft picks for him.
But do you think he is sour? You think he's tight? He's kind of over this right now? Because I don't know. It kind of seems like, based on his reactions, later in the season, it kind of seems like maybe he was expecting to come into something a little bit better than what he was given.
He just like Kevin Dickerson coming into something better says downtime.
Kevin,
do we know Kev?
I do not know Kevin Dickerson,
but welcome to the family.
Can't say I do. Welcome to the Downtime TV family.
But yeah, I think the whole thing at the end of the day is like I'm just saying, who's going to be the quarterback? Do they try something I don't know if it's just it's just going to be even worse than it was this year, but give Jimmy G a shot, draft somebody. Mm-hmm. Those are the type of things that come to mind.
Yeah, sure. Just bring in Colin Kaepernick, dude.
I mean, seems a little ridiculous. 7 years.
Maybe Peyton gets Zach Wilson, Russ for Zach straight up.
The Jets aren't going to take out that contract. Come on, dude. We saw the Chiefs get another 10-win season under Andy Reid, clinching the AFC West here with their 10th victory, 25-17. So again, offensively, not that impressive, not the ease that we've seen the Chiefs score with in the past, but a win's a win. Another division title is good. And Isaiah Pacheco had a great game on the ground, 130 yards. Rashee Rice does seem like he's going to be, an ascending player at wide receiver as well. Mahomes didn't have any turnovers, threw for 245. Travis Kelce only 3 catches for 16 yards in this one. Bengals eliminated from playoff contention with the loss. I mean, anything to feel good about if you're Kansas City, or other than just your Pacheco, and then just other than your playoff pedigree that you're gonna have one game at home to start the postseason and then just see what happens from there. Or?
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, I understand it's Browning and everything, but your defense did shut out the Bengals second half. That's kind of cool to have. And then Patty Mahomes here.
I mean, it was okay.
Yeah,
it wasn't like bad. It just wasn't great.
He was efficient, 21 of 29. So I mean, I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. I mean, that is kind of weird. I feel like that's also not a lot of dropbacks from Patrick Mahomes. Do you think Andy Reid was just kind of like playing this one close to the chest?
Well, I mean, if you're averaging 7 yards a carry with Pacheco, I mean, it's
you're gonna run him more.
Until they stop it.
I mean, honestly, even Pacheco 18 carries. That's not a ton of carries either for running back. Well, you only ran the ball 22 times.
Cincinnati ran the ball a lot too, 32 times. So it's just they were in possession a lot. So I think that limited the amount of offensive opportunities.
No, yeah, clearly. I mean, I guess 30, 22, 51 plays.
Yeah,
we're calling right now. That seems very low. So yeah, wow, yeah, the Bengals with 5, 10, almost 15 more plays than what you had, which is like a couple drives, a couple series. So that's pretty interesting. I don't know how you could maybe look into that. I mean, if you're the Chiefs. Other than that, I mean, yeah, like you said, the pedigree of the playoffs, the playmaking abilities of Patrick Mahomes. You mentioned that Kelce wasn't, targeted only 4 times. I mean, that's got to be like a season low, I feel like, for Kelce.
Oh, I'm sure.
But again, like, maybe, I mean, you think any chance the Chiefs were like, kind of like, oh, like we can take this one kind of easy, you think?
No, I think, we've seen what a well-run Chiefs offense looks like.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's just, you just chalk it up to, this has just been just a tough year for the Chiefs. 7
receptions by Pacheco out of the backfield. He had the most receptions out of all the receivers.
No, he's really good.
And I guess we have, well, I mean, again, to kind of then say like, the Chiefs don't have that receiver. They don't have that guy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
yeah, that'll be interesting to watch, and depends on the Miami and Buffalo game, who they're going to play in the first round at Arrowhead. But they will be the number 3 seed here in the AFC. The Packers get themselves in good playoff position. Now are the 7th seed in the NFC after a 33-10 dominant victory over the Minnesota Vikings. So getting avenged for an earlier loss this season. Jordan Love, one of the better games of his career, 256, 3 touchdowns, no picks, no sacks, 82 quarterback rating. Bo Melton, 6 receptions, 105 yards, his leading receiver. He also had Jaden Reed, 6 catches, 89 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Aaron Jones, his second consecutive 100-yard rushing game, 20 for 120. As a team, they ran for 177 yards, and Love also had a rushing touchdown. I mentioned that they have to beat the Bears at Lambeau this week to get into the playoffs. So, I mean, I think at the end of the day, you hope to win that game, but even if for, some reason you don't, I think overall, year 1, post Aaron Rodgers, you had to feel pretty good if you're the Green Bay Packers based on how Love's played.
Oh my gosh. I mean, yeah, you got to feel really good. And you said it, dude. Certainly, I think one of his best games of his career, one of the best games of the season. And that's not like, I mean, I don't know. What is he had, like 4, 5 good, like really good games this season. And like you said, for someone like this in an organization like the Green Bay Packers, for Jordan Love to kind of come out of this season and looking good is a great place to be if you're a Packers fan, for sure. Yeah, you said it. I mean, through the ground, through the air, Love running it himself. Avoiding, I mean, he was looking very mobile, avoiding sacks.
Very
like
shifty.
Nobody's business. Okay, there was a few times where, naturally, the Vikings defense is pressuring Love, and he's just, it seems like he is more calm in the pocket. He kind of is assessing and reacting. It seems like his experience now, because we know, he's got this first full season under his belt. He's got the seasons underneath Rodgers. It seems like he has finally found out how to almost like slow the game down for himself.
Yeah.
And because he makes good decisions, and that's great. And then on the other side of the ball here with the Vikings, I mean, obviously, the dumpster fire at the quarterback position for them. And I mean, they just stood no chance.
Yeah, and you almost, I know Dobbs had messed up, but it almost is like you wonder, they were kind of sitting nice. I think they were 7-5 and they've lost the last 3.
Yeah.
I mean, or 4. Was that maybe the wrong call? I know he had a lot of turnovers.
Right.
That's why they made the move, but these guys don't seem like they're ready to play quarterback.
No, I mean, I don't know what happened to Jaron Hall.
I thought it was always why he wasn't supposed to even play.
Did he get murdered? I mean, 3 sacks for a loss of 28 yards.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty significant. And Nick Mullins just absolutely nothing going there.
Yeah.
So,
and they were hosting a home playoff game last year as the 3 seed. This year they have 9 losses and maybe have 10, depending on what happens this week. So needless to say, and you understand with the Cousins injury, the carousel of quarterbacks, but it's been a disappointing season for the Minnesota Vikings. And one other Jordan Love note here. He's got 38-43 through the air, 63% completions, 30 touchdowns and 11 interceptions. So more touchdowns and less interceptions than Patrick Mahomes. So that's pretty outstanding production at the quarterback position.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's great, dude.
And he's only one of 3 quarterbacks to have at least 30 touchdowns this year. Can you name the other 2?
30 touchdowns. It's a good question. I should be able to on the show enough. It is. Oh man, there's only 3.
So really,
that's
only
tough.
2 others.
There's 2 other ones. With 30 touchdown passes. Is Dak one of them?
Yes.
Okay, let's go.
Touchdowns.
There we go. One more.
Just think about a team that scored a lot of points this year.
I know. I'm thinking Tua is what I'm thinking right now.
Could be.
I know it could be. I mean, he's a quarterback. I'm also thinking of Jackson, but I don't know. Jackson through the air, was it a ton this season?
Said
no. I kind of gave that one away.
Just
said
no.
Not Jackson.
Yeah, you're not naming somebody. It's like he was in the MVP conversation until recent.
Until recently?
Yeah. I can't believe you're blank. You're gonna be so tight that you're not thinking about this guy.
Russ Wilson?
No. You're gonna be like, what's wrong with me?
It's not something obvious like Patrick Mahomes.
No.
They got me all out of a dither here.
Nothing. You just don't know.
Stroud?
No.
He's got a ton. In an MVP conversation. Yeah. Oh, Brock Purdy.
There you go. I thought I was gonna have to tell you that one.
Jesus, dude.
Come on, Tony. So that pretty much wraps up week 17. And we have week 18, and we're gonna have a lot of playoff scenarios to play out, and they do a good job of staggering the games. We actually get started on Saturday this week. So we get one of the best rivalries in football, Steelers and Ravens. Ravens, not really anything to play for. Steelers need a win to get into the playoffs. So that should be interesting. Right now, Pittsburgh 4-point road favorites because they're assuming that Huntley will start at quarterback for the Ravens. The nightcap, and both of these games on ESPN, Colts hosting the Texans. So again, a de facto playoff elimination game here in the AFC South. So 2 divisional games. And really, I think all these games are pretty much divisional. They like to set that up the last week of the season. The 1 o'clock window, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 1 o'clock games, including Jets Patriots. So Jets trying to avoid, I believe, would it be 15 straight losses, I think.
That's it?
To the Patriots. Something like that.
I thought there was more than that.
It would either be 15 or 16. I mean, yeah, just look it up. And then the 4 o'clock window will all have intriguing games
16.
here. 16, okay.
It would be 16.
Oh, okay, gotcha. So I was right. Yeah. Bears, Packers, Broncos, Raiders, Eagles, Giants, Seahawks, Cardinals, Chiefs, Chargers, Rams, 49ers, Cowboys, Commanders, and then the Bills and Dolphins game. Right now, Buffalo, 3-point road favorites there. So it will be an interesting week 18, Tony. Can't believe we're saying it.
Dude.
An hour recap for week 17, and we are on to week 18.
Just like that. Couple days, dude. Couple days.
But let's go now to the world of the National Hockey League.
Here he comes. McDavid shoots. Top shelf. He scores. Captain with the overtime winner. That's the middle quick. That's a world-class hit right here. Tomsky stepping. Rink Washington made the full split save.
Are you kidding me?
Turn. Side of the net. Between the legs and they score. Filthy. David Pastrnak. The silver trophy to the Golden Knights.
Right. All right. So after a disappointing start to their Florida swing, the Rangers rebounded on Saturday night 5-1 over the Tampa Bay Lightning. So winning this one decisively. Igor Shesterkin nearly flawless in that 34 of 35 with the saves. Artemi Panarin with the hat trick. I know
Let's
Josh B
go, dude.
I got a kick how I was suggesting everybody would get a hat trick, but Artie actually got one.
Very good there.
You know, and it's just unbelievable how well he's played this year, up to 23 goals on the season. So a goal in the first, 2 in the third to close it out. Also Vincent Trocheck, Tony's guy with his 9th.
Hell yeah.
Chris Kreider had his 18th as well. And the Rangers, you know, have a lot of high assist guys. Fox has 21 assists, Mika has 23 assists, and Vincent Trocheck has 23 assists as well. So a well-rounded victory when they really needed it. And I know Tampa's been a shell of themselves, but after that tight loss to Florida, I really was not expecting the Rangers to win this decisively on a back-to-back.
Yeah, no, me neither, honestly. But you said it. It started with Igor Shesterkin. Certainly, there was so many times where he really kept the Rangers in this game early on. Which allowed the Rangers to pull away. You mentioned Trocheck on the 23 assists, I think, on the season. You said he had 3 on Saturday. He assisted on 3 goals, had 1 of his own. So he contributed to 4 goals on the night for the team. Love to see that. And Tampa Bay, defensively, they shut down Nikita Kucherov, who's one of the better players in the entire league, only limiting him to 3 shots. He was -1 on the ice. He did net the only goal for the Lightning. But again, they did a good job in shutting him down for the most part. And then also shutting down basically anyone else, Braden Point, Connor Sheary, obviously Stamkos as well, who was the assist on the Kucherov goal, but limiting the Lightning to only 1 goal and then putting 5 behind Vasilevsky on only 21 shots on net too. The Rangers were very, very meticulously selective with their shots on goal, obviously. And they were smart because those were the goals. Those shots ended up in goals 5 times. So Vasilevsky with a .762 save percentage on the night against the Rangers. That's probably one of the lowest of his career for a game.
Oh yeah.
Which is pretty crazy to say that. And then the Rangers on the bounce back too on the road in Florida against Tampa. This is a game where I think honestly, even as recently as last year, you're probably going to see the Rangers crumble.
Yeah.
You just would not. I feel like you just would not see them score 5 goals against the Lightning on a game like this during a little bit of the holiday time where your attitude could be somewhere else because of the holidays, family, whatnot. Off the tough loss of Friday against the Panthers. It just was a recipe for kind of a tough road trip in Florida.
Yeah.
And they bounced back. Everyone looked great. Laviolette talked about the kind of mentality of the players too during this weekend. And nobody wavered. And nobody wavered on the ice. And they kept their heads in the fucking game, Brian, and their eyes in the prize. And they won. They won. So it was great. It's great to see the Rangers now 25-9-1. One of the top teams in the league. And they proved it, I think, this weekend.
I was in AC with Stacks. He was still not how he normally would, because obviously he's been pretty humble. Because of the results here. He's like, oh yeah. Yeah, the difference with the Rangers is just goaltending. If the Devils, no, I literally was like, listen, you don't even need to say anything. The results have been on the ice this year, and he had us last year, but You don't have a sister.
No freaking shot. That's so funny.
It was just funny to hear that, Tony. But it feels great to be a Rangers fan. Nice that they're back on the ice tonight.
Yes, tonight.
One thing I just want to mention from yesterday, I was driving during the Winter Classic, but the upset, the Kraken, the 3-0 shutout, T-Mobile Park. Looked like a pretty cool scene. Did you get to watch any of it?
Yeah, dude. I watched the entire first period. So we did literally game was at 3:00. Got to my house around 2:30. So I caught the pregame. With Gretzky, dude, and Paul Bissonnette, and everything. So that was pretty cool.
Who's Bissonnette?
He used to play back in the day, I don't know, early 2000s for the Coyotes, I want to say.
Okay.
But he was just an enforcer, was on Spit and Chicklets. I actually do give him some credit because, he was on Spit and Chicklets, and he's, when that show first started too, it was just like, it was off the rocker. It wasn't well produced.
Mm-hmm.
They weren't polished, but he really worked on himself as an on-air talent, and now works with TNT and stuff for hockey, which is great. So the pregame, dude, it was dope. I love Winter Classics, dude. And then T-Mobile Park, I think, is so cool too. You're in Seattle, you have the Kraken and the Golden Knights, the two newest teams, right? In the league here. It was great. And then, January 1st, 3:00 afternoon game. Like, it's just a great time for a hockey game too. And it's cool with the jerseys. I think that some 14-year-old kid played the national anthem on guitar. Wow. It was dope, dude. Obviously you had, Bettman out there talking about the,
was he booed?
No, he wasn't booed. He doesn't do a terrible job, dude, but he was talking about how, he loves the Winter Classic. He wants more of this to happen, like outdoor stadium type of games.
It is awesome.
He also said there's going to be an announcement for, I think, for more. It seemed that he was alluding to more international games.
Okay,
but we'll see about that. But it was cool. They did the whole walkout thing because obviously the ice rink is in the middle of it's on the first baseline, so they walk out from I guess whatever dugout. It was dope. They had I guess because Seattle, they had people tossing fish around because the fish market there, and obviously the Kraken, there's Kraken on the field and stuff. It really is. It's a great game to watch. But those Winter Classics and Stadium Series games, I always kind of question if they're fun to go to. Because the one, I remember when I was at Citi Field, I mean, it's they were by second base, the rink.
Yeah. So
and there's no one on the field. So you're in the stands and you're so far away. This wasn't that bad because T-Mobile Park, again, the rink seemed to be on the first baseline.
Right.
So you had
Michael.
Oh, wow. Thanks, Mike. Easy to football.
Michael.
And Mike was saying this too. So it was cool because you had that side of the rink was all the first baseline seat. So you were pretty close.
Yeah.
So that was cool, but it looked great. I freaking love it too. And then with the retractable roof, it was so cool. You had the sun just kissing the ice.
But
dude.
the roof
dope,
was open.
Dude. Yeah, the roof was open. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
But I'm just saying, T-Mobile Park is dope.
It is. It is, honestly. So I think they did a good job. And
yeah,
I guess the thing with Bettman, I don't have a problem with him personally, but I've asked I think I was asking Riley about this actually, and he was saying, I guess they just think he hasn't done a good enough job of growing the game and how far behind basketball, baseball, and football that they are.
I will say he hasn't done a great job in growing, I guess, the sport. I mean, I don't know. I mean, dude, but if you think of recent years, because I think people are a little bit too harsh with that because I think people are just stupid. People should be watching hockey regardless.
Right.
But you look at what Bettman does. I mean, the expansion teams have been
successes.
I mean, in my lifetime, I think the biggest success of an expansion team I've seen in any league.
Question for you folks.
What do you got?
TikTok question. What is your favorite cheese?
Oh, I don't know. It's tough, dude.
It is a tough one.
It is a good question.
Left field.
I'll go fresh moots.
I know. I was gonna say the same thing. I'm gonna go smoked moots.
Smoked Gouda, runner up though.
Dude, I had smoked Gouda on a sausage, egg, and cheese over Christmas break with my mother. So good.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Smoked Gouda.
Yeah.
I'm a feta guy.
Michael loves smoked feta.
There he is.
Yeah,
Michael.
Dude. But the expansion teams, the National Series, they've started the Stadium Series stuff. Like they've been doing more and more outdoor games too. I don't know. I think he's making a pretty solid push.
Yeah.
To expand the league. And I mean, I don't know, man. I mean, there's just only so much you could do. What do you want him to do to bring in more people to be attracted to hockey? I mean,
yeah, you can only do so much.
Maybe he can. I don't know. I mean, it's tough, dude. Because when you think about the biggest markets, probably the biggest complaints we have, biggest market obviously being the Rangers, and you can argue the Bruins too, is the prices of tickets to go into the stadium.
Right, but that's obviously. I mean,
again,
and they do well like with attendance, so it's not like
like,
their benefit to lower the game.
But again, if you're looking for new people to get interested in hockey, make it very affordable to go to these games. And obviously, where is it most likely people are going to go to the games? Oh, well, in New York, in Boston, like in LA.
Just say go to UBS Arena. It's a brand new facility.
No one wants to see the Island, and then the Islanders. Yeah, let's go see the Islanders play. Oh,
yeah, no, that's true. But also, I do think like the new TV partnership has worked well as well. I mean, the numbers have to go up because I think a lot of people watch ESPN, so there's more eyeballs, and then the whole thing, how the season package is on ESPN Plus, really gets more people watching, and then TNT is solid because it kind of coincides with their NBA coverage. So it's like muscle memory, people going to that channel. So I think the new partnerships have been great. So I hope that the hockey continues to grow. That's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And speaking of the Rangers, they are back in action tonight at the Garden. Tickets, it says, start at $126, which would be like $180 with fees. Again, if you want to go see them, not everybody wants to throw that, especially to sit up in the rafters, Tony. But how do you feel about the Rangers here? Minus 120. Anything about skates, about quick? You're thinking Igor, right? No.
Yeah, I would be thinking Igor, not Jonathan Quick.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I mean, I would think that the Rangers here emphatically beat the Hurricanes.
Really?
First time they're facing each other, maybe? I'd have to double check that. I find that kind of hard to
also,
believe.
isn't that line like a little like I don't know? I would think at least
Rangers
130, 140, no?
Yeah, I mean the Hurricanes aren't a bad team though.
No, I think the Rangers are just the best of the best though.
Yes, no, I totally agree. And the Hurricanes too, 3-game win streak. They beat Toronto.
I mean, Kochkinov has played okay. Ranta's struggled,
scoring 13 goals in the last 3 games though. That's pretty solid.
Pretty solid goal production.
They are heating up,
Yeah.
Jesper Fast out. Filipino's not going to be playing tonight. We know that. I'm trying to see what. Normally it tells you at the bottom. Like, how many times these two teams just face each other. Maybe sometimes it's just the phone, just the app. Sorry, stand by here. Bear with me. Hurricanes, Rangers.
They haven't played.
They have played. No, November 2nd, it says. Rangers 1-2-1. I know. I thought they didn't play either.
Well, yeah, and it would usually list it.
I know. That's what I mean.
This is on the schedule. It says
I'm looking on the app now on the phone because the ESPN.
Okay? Gotcha.
Well, take it easy there, Mike. So I don't know. I mean, I still think that the Hurricanes get blown out. I mean, the Rangers, I understand the Hurricanes are better than I suppose what they looked like in the beginning of November. However, I think the Rangers' offensive production is not to be overlooked here. We mentioned Panarin with the hat trick. Against the Lightning. I think it's time. I think we see Mika with a hat trick, right?
Yeah.
Won't you say? He's long overdue for that.
Mm-hmm.
So give you Mika's a better job with a hat trick. I would say Vincent Trocheck has a similar, line. Maybe a goal and 2 assists. Kreider getting the bulk of the assists on the line with Mika. And Blake Wheeler's been skating really well also. So let's go. Let's get some defense in there. Shut down the Hurricanes. Shut down Nozhin, Svechnikov, Sebastian Aho. Like, let's shut them down. Let's get Miller on
Michael
them.
Bunting.
Bunting. Yeah, let's get Trouba.
There might be a fight with Bunting, maybe.
There should be, honestly. There should be multiple fights in this game because the Hurricanes are going to be down early. They're going to get really chippy, and Choker's going to get pissed.
Wow.
So give me the Rangers here. I would say something similar to, let's say 6-2.
6-2. Oh, and by the way, we were talking about before the show, but pick segment ended. I snuck it out 28-27. Dude. So now that's we add bowling to Sakura. So I'm accumulating.
You got a whole night ahead of yourself.
A whole night ahead of myself.
Yeah.
And then what I'm thinking
probably though.
They have to be separate.
Yeah.
But what I was thinking for this one will go till the first day of spring training. Kind of a good crossover. Usually end of February, so we'll get a solid almost 2 months.
Yes. Love it, dude.
And what are we saying for this one?
Ranger 6-2.
No. I'm saying like, what do we?
Oh, what do you want to bet?
Yeah.
All right. So what'd you say? Taking Mike out. No. Why don't we do like a lunch?
Okay. Lunch.
Like Gaetano's, right?
Gaetano's
Because I was just thinking about Gaetano's this morning.
Great. Okay.
It is great.
So we'll go Gaetano's.
Yeah. And coffee. Lunch and coffee.
Okay.
The midday coffee. Brian, handle it.
Yep. All right. And then
Yo, did you hear Cumbies increasing the price of their coffee?
again?
Yeah, they are.
Wait, but it's like it's 138 right now. It's gonna be more.
I literally was in the line.
Yeah.
2 days ago or something, whatever, before we left.
Yeah.
And they literally were like, just so you know, sir, we're increasing our coffee and sales of something else. And I was like,
Oh, okay. Yeah. I didn't get it today actually.
Donut is not increasing the
At Donut
prices.
Delight.
Donut actually decreased.
Really?
Yeah.
Wait, you sure about that?
Capitalize it.
You sure about? I don't know about that one.
All right. So, for my first pick
let's go,
here,
Take the Bruins.
I was thinking about taking the Bruins, but I'm actually going to take the Avalanche over the Islanders in Colorado. Isles, after that, they came back with a win after that embarrassing loss to Pittsburgh. But I just think Colorado at home, better team wins here. McKinnon, Tony, 2 goals and an assist. 6.5, 4-3 to hit the over. Avs over the Islanders.
All right, dude. Give me. I want to say, the Maple Leafs are on the skid, dude. Look at that game. They're playing the Kings. And I'm gonna play it safe here. Let's go, Gaetano's, dude. This is serious now.
You're taking the Bruins.
Give the Bruins or the Blue Jackets. I mean, come on, the Blue Jackets. Talk about a line.
They
dude.
score a lot though. Like even if they lose, like they're scoring like 6 goals a game.
They are, dude. Justin Danforth, I believe, is their captain now.
Wow.
Sacred Heart alum.
There we go.
But nonetheless, dude, at home, Boston -25 on the road, probably the biggest road favorite I've seen this season. One of the biggest, I guess I should say. But obviously, there's a reason for that. So give me the Bruins all day. 3-0 shutout. Like, let's go, dude.
Let's
Johnny
go.
Gaudreau sucks.
Tristan Jarry, Tony, shutting out the Capitals here. Pittsburgh's taking it up a notch recently. We know about the 7-0 win over the Islanders. So I'm going to say this one nice and clean and tidy. 3-0. Carlson, who has been missing most of the year. Hat trick.
All right.
Let's go.
2 hat tricks tonight, I guess, dude.
Yeah.
But let's go. Last game here. The Kings in the Crypto.com arena are hosting Maple Leafs. Toronto, dude. As I mentioned before, on the skid.
Is Kevin Dickerson from TikTok, Michael?
He might be.
Okay, because he commented we hadn't seen him before.
We had Grimes in here.
Grimes as well.
Yeah.
Also, we have a question from the TikTok world.
Cheese?
Favorite football teams?
Jets.
Yeah, Jets.
Unfortunately.
They don't know.
Jets.
Okay, dude.
Yeah.
Gangrene.
You hang in there. It's tough. Believe me.
Kev Dickerson, by the way, says
Jets fans, that's how you know we're loyal.
Kev Locke.
Kev Locke. Derek Ho says hi there.
Derek says hi there. First in 2024. Oh yeah, the Kings destroying Toronto.
Wow.
William Nylander, one of the better players in the entire hockey league. However, gets shut down. I think he has like almost 50 points in the season. Kind of crazy, but shut down by the Kings. Trevor Moore, speaking of hat tricks, with a hattie for the Kings. Write that down, Michael. Yeah, Michael, you write it down. Trevor Moore, dude.
Write this down. The Coyotes are making the playoffs.
Michael, write it down.
Another home win to go to 13-5 over the Panthers. Ingram back in net. Keller has been hot recently. Give him a goal and 2 assists. 3-0 Coyotes over the Panthers.
Probably didn't take the Sharks.
Yeah, they keep losing though. So I almost took them the other night. They lost by like 5. It's not worth it at the end of the day.
All right, if you think so. Yeah.
I think I know the answer to this, Tony, but I'm going to ask you anyway.
Oh no.
I just wanted to mention, before we close up shop here. Did you catch any of the semifinals yesterday? College football?
No.
Not even 20 seconds.
No.
Well, like I said, I just wanted to mention, and I watched the whole Michigan Alabama game. Went into overtime, and I have to say, one of the better college football games I've watched of recent memory. And Alabama going down late. Had the ball on a 4th and goal in overtime, and Jalen Milroe, bad snap, and decides to just try to run it up the middle. I think it was like 3 or 4 yards out and just gets stuffed right at the line. So that was the end of the game. Bad snap. So Michigan has a chance to be, to join the elite group of 15-0 undefeated national champions. After this win. So Harbaugh gets to his first national championship. We'll see too. Does he leave for greener pastures in the NFL? Avoid the recruiting violations. We'll have to find that out.
Jets.
Blake Corum had a great game on the ground for Michigan, 83 yards and a score. Also caught a receiving touchdown as well. J.J. McCarthy, one of the better quarterbacks in the country, 3 touchdowns, no picks. But they get the job done. Very exciting football game. So I really enjoyed watching that one. The one thing I would say about doing, the New Year's Day double headers is stagger the times a little better. It ended up being 5:30 and 8:40. And I am only made till halftime of the second game. It's like you can't expect everybody. Everybody's going back to work January 2nd, and then you have the game end around midnight.
Yeah, it's tough, dude. Oh my God.
So that was the one thing. So I saw the first half of that game, which was exciting. It was actually tied 21 at the half. But you had Washington continue their undefeated season, winning 37-31, Tony. So we setting up a national championship game between Washington and Michigan. So Texas.
Wow.
Remember we talked about it. I think we were both on Bama. Obviously Michigan won, but then we went you went Texas, I went Washington.
That's right. Matthew McConaughey,
who looks like he's
right.
A couple more.
Turned a new leaf though. Did he not?
But he loses here 37-31. Michael Penix has been one of the best quarterbacks in the nation. A lot of people saying Heisman snubs. It's his 6th year, so he'll get a chance to win a national championship and the Pac-12 to get their only college football playoff victory. If they can beat Michigan a week from yesterday, that's going to be an outstanding matchup. And always good in the championship game when you get 2 undefeated teams.
That Sarkisian guy, did he actually look like he had a couple more?
He looks aged. I think he's only around 50, and it's like he just looks aged.
Do you think he's back on the wagon?
Probably not. He probably still drinks, but maybe he's just not an alcoholic anymore. Because it was like pretty bad where he's like showing up to functions like wasted. Like you're a college one football coach. Like, you can't.
That's
like
crazy.
Slurring your words at the podium. You can't do that.
Really? There's like tape of him slurring his words at the podium?
I don't know if there's tape, but that's what like if you go look up the articles. Yeah.
Oh my goodness, dude. That reminds me of how Michael comes to work.
So one thing that's good is the national championship game always used to start around like 9:00. They pushed it to 7:30. So this game is going to be put at NRG Stadium in Houston. Like I said, January 8th. That's where the Texans play. 7:30 tip. So I like that one. Michigan 4.5-point favorites. So I think this is going to be an exciting game, and I would recommend you watching it, Tony. I know you probably won't, but I think it's going to be an exciting football
January 8th, 7:30.
7:30. Yep.
So Friday.
2 undefeated teams Monday.
It's a Monday.
Yeah, Monday national championship game. Just like
they always,
college basketball does that as well.
All right, yeah, I think I'll be around for that. I mean, Monday night. I mean, what are you doing January 8th, Monday night? Watching the game?
Yeah, probably.
Are you gonna be watching?
We'll maybe Colony, Thorne.
I don't know about Thorne. Probably no Thorne. I think Thorne's Thorne's probably working it. Right, because it's in Austin.
Texas. No,
Houston. So that makes sense. Yeah, because I'm pretty sure he was there. I think he was there last week to set up for it.
Yeah.
So definitely no Thorne, but Colony, I think that would be great because I haven't had Colony in a while and I am starving right now for Colony.
Yeah, I haven't eaten anything today. Starving too. Is it Harbaugh's last game as coach?
No. Wait, coach of Michigan?
Yeah.
No, he said he's down to go back there, right?
Did he officially say that?
But he says, no, the greatest thing, I can go back on the plane and go to Michigan. Is that what he said? Like at the right?
Well, yeah, he's going to Michigan, but then they have a game in Houston.
I don't know. I think he's going to stick around. Doesn't he? He loves college, bro. He loves Michigan.
But you would think a little unfinished business in the NFL. I mean, 3 straight championships games to start his career as the Niners coach, 8 season, then get fired and then never go back. I mean,
Right, but I mean, do you think? I remember when he did go back to college. Like, wasn't he like, he was happy to go back to college?
Yeah, but I'm just thinking because of this like whole sideline scandal stuff, and like he just doesn't want to deal with it. That's just my thought.
Okay,
but,
so what? You want him to go to the Jets?
Yeah, he's not going to go to the Jets, but
you would want him to.
Yeah.
Do you think he's going to go to the NFL next season?
Kind of, but maybe as long as he gets cleared, college, he'll stay.
Tomlinson out in Pittsburgh?
No, Tomlinson.
Tomlin, sorry, not Tomlin. Yeah, Tomlinson.
You got very serious, sir. But yeah, he's not out. He's not out.
Michael.
Yeah, so that's that, Tony. And action-packed for sure.
To say the least.
TikTok, appreciate you guys. You'll see more of us all day long. So definitely stay tuned for Binge Buddies. Noon teen, Tony, or no?
Noon teen, yes.
Noon teen for Binge Buddies.
Manny's
6
presence
o'clock
is
gaming
immense.
corner where I'm going to kick Tony's ass in any sports game that we play. So even NHL, I'm doing it.
Yeah,
I don't care.
Make sure you bring the counsel.
Yeah, which I forgot this morning.
But do you have the hard drive with all the memory on it?
I wouldn't even.
Don't you have an external hard drive, right? Don't you bring that with your PS4?
No, it's just in there.
Oh, everything's in there. Okay,
Yeah.
I was gonna say we can use my PlayStation.
Right.
But no.
Yeah, it's just I'll just grab it. It's not a big deal. But that being said, Tony, anything else on the way out? Michael, something?
No, just stay tuned.
RJ, are you tight that he's gone?
Yes, he is.
Sad day.
I'm tight.
The Zion thing never
I'm
met.
out.
Yeah.
I might be out.
Oh yeah,
Really?
yeah. He was saying he's gonna
I
have.
think I'm out, and Tony, I will talk to you after the show.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. So a little somber note, but never.
No, it's not somber.
No, I'm
It
just
is. It's not. It's just Michael's just. I
It's
don't know.
BS.
He's a disgruntled sports fan between the Knicks and the Jets, and for some reason the Devils too.
But Yankees this year, man. Watch out.
Michael doesn't like baseball.
Oh, he loves it.
I do love baseball.
Dude, he doesn't, dude.
They used to call me
Jorge Piazza.
But anything else, Tony, to put you out of your misery here?
No. I'm pumped for the triple threat today.
Triple threat.
Let's go, dude. Like I'm just amped. Let's go. Big day. Start
Big
the
day
new year
ahead.
right.
So yeah. Once again, I would like to thank everybody for tuning in today.
Yes.
Continuing to comment, like, and subscribe.
Hell yeah.
All of the archives on the YouTube page. Tony, Michael, Renee, and Jay in costume. The merch.
The merch.
At downtimetv.com. Everybody enjoy the day. Enjoy Binge Buddies.
Let's go Rangers.
Let's go Rangers. And we will see you mañana.
Hey guys, Tony here from Downtime TV checking in. I want to thank all our fans out there who's been liking, subscribing, sharing our content. You guys are the best. You guys are our bloodline. You make us love what we do. Thanks again.